Welcome back to NewsWire here on SportsGrid. Baseball seemingly all about pitching. Don't I know all that well? We're going to preview some games coming up tonight on the baseball slate. Of course, Kevin Walsh will be along later with game time decisions to break most of these down. But let's begin with the first start of the season for Jacob deGrom of the Texas Rangers. deGrom was scratched by the Rangers over the weekend. He'll face off against the Baltimore Orioles and Zach Eflin. Right now, Texas sits minus 132 on the money line with a total of 8.5 because generally runs are scored in Baltimore. 8.5 the total. deGrom versus Eflin as Texas with a strong start offensively to their season. Meanwhile, another pitcher will make a start to actually two pitchers that have had some injury issues through the years who will get to start today. One in particular that I'm very interested in seeing. I believe it's his first start in almost a year and a half. That is Shane McClanahan back on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. They take on the Milwaukee Brewers and Brandon Woodruff. Tough one to call here. Brewers are favored in the game, but the total is 7.5, total 7.5 in this one, minus 138. Milwaukee is favored in this one, and naturally they're playing very well at home, including a big walk-off shot, of course, not walk-off, but a two-run home run winning shot from Christian Yelich over the weekend. All right, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. As we get later into the day, we'll see if Max Fried can continue his red-hot pitching, fared well against the Giants. And then tonight, he goes up against Logan Gilbert of the Seattle Mariners. The total in that one is very low in 7. As you could see, the Yankees favored ever so slightly, minus 112 on the money line. Seattle minus 104. So you're basically going to be laying one way or the other, a little bit of minus money. That should be one of the games of the night. Should be a good pitching matchup as well. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. The San Francisco Giants won a game yesterday. They really needed that one. They get the first win of the game of the season. Logan Webb will take on German Marquez. Marquez coming over to San Diego from Colorado in the offseason. As it stands right now, Logan Webb minus 144, total of 7.5. And the Padres, if you take them, it's a little bit of plus money. Webb struggled in his first outing against the Yankees. We'll see if he could do better this time around. And then the matchup tonight may not be great on paper, but it is the pitching debut this season for Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And of course, you're going to have to lay big numbers tonight. They're minus 260 are the Dodgers with a total of 8. The Guardians, who came up big last night, plus 215. Total of, as I mentioned, of 8 in this one. And the reason why is I think Bibby's a little bit uncertain as to how he could perform for Cleveland. But Ohtani naturally expected to go about 75, 80 pitches. So that puts him at the 4 or 5 inning mark. Ohtani versus Bibby, Dodgers versus Guardians here today. Recapping some of the highlights in Major League Baseball yesterday, it was kind of like a dial it back day, as Jose Altuve hit a couple of home runs for the Houston Astros yesterday, but he wasn't the only one, as a lot of other players had big games. They would include Paul Messick of the Cleveland Guardians, 6 innings pitched, no runs, 5 strikeouts. Stephen Kwan, 3 for 5, an RBI, 1 run scored. Mookie Betts on the side of the Dodgers went 1 for 4 in that one. Lance McCullers with the win for Houston, by the way, in that game I mentioned with the Astros. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. Altuve, with those 2 home runs, also went 4 for 4 yesterday and drove in 2 runs as well. The Rockies, after being swept in Miami, put up a 14 spot on the Toronto Blue Jays in Canada. They were getting plus 200 in that game yesterday. Ezekiel Tovar had 3 hits. Troy Johnston of the Rockies hit his first home run of the season. He was 2 for 5. Those two teams will face off again tonight. The Yankees took a loss to the Seattle Mariners in walk-off fashion. It was at home, and it was Cal Raleigh, who didn't start the game, but he had a single in the bottom of the 9th, and they end up winning. Luis Castillo did not get a decision. He went 6 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts. Ryan Weathers, 4.1 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts as well. The Nationals beat the Phillies 13-2, as the Nats are off to a better start than anybody could have imagined right now. They beat the Phillies, and Joey Wiemer, a player they picked up off waivers this offseason, ended up getting on base the most consecutive times to start a season. 10 straight consecutive on-base streak. Incredible. It did end up getting snapped, but the Nationals pick up the win. Foster Griffin, 5 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts. Meanwhile, if you are getting ready for the NCAA tournament, get ready and download the SportsGrid app because the Final Four is here and you'll want to use this QR code, scan it, and you can get all set to stream our shows while watching the championship.